Tears of the Kingdom is a goldmine for throwbacks and references to previous Zelda titles. From the names of locations to legendary items found in the depths of Hyrule, the game consistently triggers nostalgia, even in the subtlest of ways. But when it comes to the big concepts regarding Tears of the Kingdom's story and premise, there has been one game that I've been reminded of since the E3 2021 teaser trailer, and that is none other than Skyward Sword, a game that, despite not being the most beloved 3D Zelda, I hold very dear to my heart. In fact, there are so many similarities between these two games that some people are beginning to wonder if Tears of the Kingdom is a retelling of Skyward Sword. But we're not worrying too much about that right now. This video is purely an analysis and appreciation of these Zelda games, and is barely speculative. But I did recently upload a video about whether Tears of the Kingdom makes sense in the Zelda timeline, and that was quite a success, for some reason. So feel free to check that out if you will. Also, big spoiler warning for both the stories of Skyward Sword and Tears of the Kingdom before we dive in. With that aside, let's get into the parallels between these two Zelda epics. Skyward Sword tells the tale of a Link and Zelda who live above the clouds. In the opening of the game, it's explained that long ago, there was a war between the demons from beneath the earth and the goddess Hylia, who fought alongside the land dwellers. The demons sought to steal Hylia's ultimate power, aka the Triforce, so the goddess sent it skyward on an outcropping of earth, along with the surviving humans of the war. This is where the birthplace of the supposed original Link and Zelda, Skyloft, would be established. Separating the sky and land was a cloud barrier, which isolated the humans that lived up above. The demons were ultimately unsuccessful in their pursuit of the Triforce and sealed away by the goddess. Fast forward to the present time of the game and we see Link and Zelda, who happen to be childhood best friends, and also clearly super into each other apparently. However, following the annual wing ceremony, Zelda is swept away beneath the cloud barrier by a giant tornado, while she and Link are riding their Loftwings. Link swoops down to save her, but fails. That night, he has a nightmare in which Zelda falls into the mouth of an enormous beast. This is what prompts Link's main quest, to find Zelda. He teams up with Fi, the spirit of the goddess sword, to venture beneath the cloud barrier in search for his childhood best friend. At a later point in the game, this is the sword that transforms into the iconic Master Sword after taking in the three sacred flames and receiving Hylia's blessing. During Link's journey on the surface, he learns a number of key points. The giant beast he witnessed in his dream is called the Imprisoned, and is the monstrous form of the Demon King Demise, who was sealed away long ago. Zelda is the reincarnation of the goddess Hylia, and she is being guided and protected by Impa, a guardian from the past, to fulfill her role in maintaining Demise's seal. Meanwhile, the flamboyant demon lord Girahim, my personal favorite villain by the way, is on the hunt for Zelda because he wishes to use her body, which carries the blood of the goddess, to revive the Demon King Demise. In the latter half of the game, Zelda uses the Gate of Time to go to the past, in which she slumbers to hold the seal on Demise, until Link is able to destroy the Imprisoned in the present. Link does this by using the power of the Triforce to plummet the giant goddess statue in the sky down onto the Imprisoned. Zelda breaks from her sleep and she's back with Link in her present time. Everything is going oh so well until Girahim pulls a little sneaky on them and kidnaps Zelda, whom he takes back to the past before the Imprisoned was destroyed. Girahim successfully uses Zelda's body to revive his master, the Demon King Demise, but it's okay because after a dope final battle, Link stabs him in the chest with lightning. Link and Zelda are once again reunited, they say their farewells to Fi and Impa, and return to their present time to presumably live happily ever after. Also, their descendants are tormented by Demise's eternal curse of hatred. Anyways, now that we've summed up the tale that is Skyward Sword, let's move on to Tears of the Kingdom. The game starts off with our Breath of the Wild era Link and Zelda, who are also close friends at this point, I might add, venturing beneath Hyrule Castle. Here they find the corpse of our main boy Ganondorf being sealed by an ominous hand with a stone. Unfortunately for them, the seal breaks and the stone is picked up by Zelda. Ganondorf wakes up, breaks the Master Sword, lets all hell loose on Hyrule, and disappears into the depths. At this moment, Zelda falls as the floor breaks beneath them. Link dives in an attempt to grab her, and what do you know? He fails. Luckily, the stone in Zelda's hand teleports her to safety, and Link is saved by the ominous hand, which pulls him somewhere. That somewhere being the sky. Link finds himself on an ancient sky island above the clouds with a broken Master Sword, but also a cool new Zonai arm. He makes his way over to the ancient Sky Temple of Time, where he supposedly transports the Master Sword to Zelda. Spoiler alert, he sends the Master Sword back in time. Yep, after diving to the surface and uncovering memories from the past, he learns that the stone sent Zelda back thousands of years to the era of Hyrule's founding. There, she meets the Zonai King Rauru and his Hyrulean wife, Queen Sonia. Zelda learns about the secret stones of the Zonai, which amplify one's special abilities. Zelda herself happens to have time powers. While trying to figure out how to get back to her present time, she learns from Raru's sister, Minoru, that secret stones can be swallowed in a forbidden act called draconification, which sacrifices one's body and mind to turn them into an immortal dragon. But Zelda's not the only one interested in learning about these secret stones. Gerudo Chief Ganondorf has an eye for them, as he believes they might aid him in taking over Hyrule. Ganondorf kills Queen Sonia, takes her stone, and uses it to become, you guessed it, the Demon King. He floods Hyrule with monsters and makes a mockery of Rauru and his team. Rauru commits himself to one final act, in which he sacrifices himself to seal Ganondorf. At this point in the past, Zelda receives the Master Sword at the Temple of Time, which was sent back in time by Link. After consulting Minoru and learning that the sword would require consistent sacred energy over a long period of time to recover, Zelda realizes her purpose. She swallows her stone, becomes the Light Dragon, and the Master Sword sits on top of her head where it slowly heals over thousands of years. Present-day Link pulls this sword out from the Light Dragon's head and returns to the depths to fight a revived Demon King Ganondorf, with the help of his friends. Refusing to lose to Link, Ganondorf undergoes draconification himself, and we get a breathtaking spectacle where Link teams up with Dragon Zelda to fight Dragon Ganondorf. Once the Demon Dragon is destroyed, the spirits of Rauru and Sonia show up and channel their powers through Link to return Zelda to her human state. Link dives down to Zelda and is successful in grabbing her this time. The two have a heartfelt moment being reunited, and Link's quest is officially complete. Now that we've covered the most important points of each game's story, what makes these two legends so similar? I mean, Zelda games typically follow the same structure and formula when it comes to plot and gameplay anyway, right? Well, I think these two games have something more. Let's acknowledge the most obvious similarity first. The sky. The sky plays a major role in both games, and it's the reason the E3 2021 trailer reminded many fans, including me, of Skyward Sword. The main difference between the two games is that Skyward Sword is about discovering and exploring the surface, while Tears of the Kingdom Link discovers the Sky Islands. The concepts are somewhat reversed. Now, if we were to assume these games take place in the same timeline, with Skyward Sword taking place at the beginning and Tears of the Kingdom being at the end, we could sort of see the series coming full circle. Other than the sky being prominent, we also have the theme of strengthening the Sword of Legend. This one's a small similarity, as this isn't a concept exclusive to these two games, but I think it's worth mentioning. The Goddess Sword reaches its full potential as the Master Sword by being upgraded by the Sacred Flames, while in Tears of the Kingdom, the Master Sword reaches its true potential by being bathed in Zelda's sacred power while she's the Light Dragon. More importantly though, is the presence of Fi's voice and theme being present in Tears of the Kingdom, a clear reference and connection to the Sword Spirit from Skyward Sword. Though we can look at more significant concepts regarding the stories of these games, such as time travel, a familiar concept to the Zelda franchise. While in Skyward Sword it's intentional, and in Tears of the Kingdom it's an accident, both Zeldas travel back in time thousands of years to ultimately fulfill their purpose. As both Zeldas try to find and fulfill their purpose, they are guided by a mentor, or mentors, in Tears of the Kingdom's case. In Skyward Sword, that would be Impa, who helps Zelda fulfill her role as a reincarnation of the goddess Hylia. In Tears of the Kingdom, it would be Rauru and Sonia, who not only help Zelda in her mission to return to her present time, but also teach her how to make use of her abilities using the Secret Stone. These mentors from the past also provide guidance to Link in present time. And what do both Zeldas eventually do? Sacrifice their consciousness in order to ensure the destruction of the Demon King. It's not an easy decision for either, though. Both Zeldas have people that they love and want to spend time with, but neither is sure whether they will ever come back. In fact, Tears of the Kingdom Zelda was under the assumption that her transformation into a dragon would be permanent. It's the care we have as players for these characters and their interests that makes these scenes so emotional. The concept of sacrifice is prevalent in both games. Additionally, there's revival. Not only do Demise and Ganondorf resemble each other quite a bit, both Demon Kings are sealed away for prolonged periods of time, only to return in the flesh and face Hyrule's hero in epic battle. The idea of antagonists being revived is certainly recycled throughout the Zelda franchise, but the similarities between Demise and Ganondorf as humanoid representations of demonic power can't be overlooked. Now, we've talked about both Zeldas and Demon Kings, but what about our two Links? Well, I believe the biggest parallel to Skyward Sword that Tears of the Kingdom showcases is Link's love for Zelda. Whether that be platonic or romantic is completely up to you, but hear me out for a second. First off, it's important to note that Link and Zelda's relationship is typically not taken far or written deeply in most Zelda games. There are some exceptions though. For example, Link and Zelda are longtime best friends in the Minish Cap. However, when it really comes to illustrating Link's love for Zelda, no two games do it better than Skyward Sword and Tears of the Kingdom. Both Links set out for adventure for the sole purpose of finding Zelda. While they receive some guidance in searching for her, their determination stems from within themselves, because of the pre-existing relationships they have with their respective Zeldas. Even after Skyward Sword Link understands Zelda's bigger role in the overarching conflict and is aware of her safety, he wants nothing more than just to be with her. Just look at his face when he realizes he can finally see her again after destroying the imprisoned. And though Tears of the Kingdom Link may lack the facial expressions, we can still see the similarities in their goals. The primary main quest was never to destroy the Demon King or whatever that corpse thing he saw under Hyrule Castle was. It was to find Princess Zelda. And this quest does not complete once he finds out the truth about the Light Dragon. While at that point he technically knows where Princess Zelda is, he isn't satisfied until she's brought back to her human form at the end of the game, which is when the final quest is fulfilled. You see, Link defeated Ganondorf because he had to. If he hadn't, Hyrule would be overrun by evil again. However, he could very well have accepted the fact that Zelda would forever remain a dragon, like everyone assumed she would, but he didn't. I believe that if it weren't for Link's will to reunite with Zelda, Rauru and Sonia would never have been able to channel their powers through him to undo the transformation. That's what makes the dynamics between these two pairs so beautiful.